Hello students, before we start our chapter, I would like to request you all to watch our introductory 2 videos given by me so that you will be clear about the 3-step strategy to do Dhamaka in physics exams. We have given the videos in the description box, or you can just click on our videos displayed at the end of this video for either introductory 2 videos or the next videos. Okay then, let's enjoy physics by Mr. Patel, who has a long, profound experience of 29 years of teaching physics in Sainik School, Balachand.
Diffraction of light. The phenomena of bending of light around the corner of small obstacles or aperture and its consequent spreading in the region of the geometrical shadow is called the diffraction of light. That all waves, like they show this bending around the corner or obstacle or small opening, slit, that is narrow. This is a narrow aperture A and B. Correct? This property is shown by the sound waves, matter waves, light waves, water waves even. So S is the source of light. The light, if it travels in a straight line, then it should go to the point A dash. Light passing from the point A, this AB is the slit, opening, that is called the narrow opening or aperture we call it. So it goes like this A dash. Light going from this B, it will be B dash, other will go this. So this portion will be eliminated by light. This will be dark, this will be dark. So it will produce a shadow. This will produce a shadow of this portion. This will, here the shadow of this. But in actual practice, we see light in the geometrical shadow. This is a geometrical shadow portion and light reaches in this portion. It shows that light bends around the corner. So instead of this, it goes like this. Here we see the dark and bright bands. So this is the diffraction. We can say, or diffracted light. From here also it bends around the corner. So it bends actually, correct? So this bending is shows when opening is this opening is comparable to the wavelength. Generally we do not see that. So a person is speaking in the one room. The teacher is teaching to a student in the room. This is the opening. This is another room. This is the number 1 room, then number 2. If teacher is someone is speaking, the sound waves, they bend and they enter into the another room. And man who is in the second room will also hear. But this man cannot see the man in the number 1 room because the opening is comparable to the wavelength of the sound. So sound can bend like this. But if light, he cannot see. But if opening is very narrow, then it shows the bending. So it should be the comparable to the wavelength. Wavelength of the light is very less. So opening should be very small. In the case of the sound, wavelength is higher, more. So opening is more. You can bend at the door side. Correct. Now let us see. So this is another one. This is a small obstacle. Here also the light goes, if it goes straight way, it will go like this. So this portion will be geometrical shadow. Light doesn't reach in this, but it shows that light passing, it bends around the corner. This is called the diffraction. Due to the diffraction, it shows the bending. It bends around the corner instead of going straight way. The diffraction at a single slit. This is in your course. The diffraction of light at its single slit to show the formation of diffraction fringes. Show graphically the variation of intensity with angle theta in this diffraction pattern. Angle theta, this is the direction of the diffraction. Why secondary maxima are less intense than the central maxima? The secondary maxima are less intense. The ratio is 1:1/21. So, very less, correct, in the case of diffraction, unlike in the case of this interference pattern. In Young's double slit experiment, we have studied that the fringes, the intensity of fringes are the same for all fringes, but here secondary maxima is less intense, third maxima will be much more less, and so on. So, intensity decreases if order of maxima increases. Single slit diffraction. S is the source of the light, L1 in the lens. We have put the lens and the S, this distance is equal to the focal length. Here, this is another lens, L2 also is placed. So, L2, the distance between L2 and the screen, this is the screen, is also equal to the focal length of L2 lens. This is a screen. The diffraction pattern is observed on the screen. Let us see. The waves originating from the S, correct? All secondary wavelets going straight across the slit AB are focused at the central point O of the screen. The all point originating, all waves or wavelets originating from the slit, this is a slit having the opening of length A, that is width, it is called the width of the slit, it is A. This AB is the slit, the distance AB is A, is in millimeter, very small. Okay. So, this rays will go straight way. Due to the lens, they converge and they are in the phase. There is no phase difference because there is no path difference. They reach at the slit in the phase. These all waves, they reach at the AB or this, correct? They are in the phase. But as they proceed, here also there is no phase difference because all waves they travel the same distance. But if you consider the ray going like this, there is at angle theta, the direction of the theta, this ray has direction of theta, then there will be a path difference. So, this ray will travel less distance and the ray originating from the B will travel maximum distance. So, there is a path difference between these two, that is, this will travel AP and this will travel BP. So, that difference is AP, BP minus AP, that is, if you draw the normal from the A on the BP, that is say AN, then BN will be the path difference. So, there will be a phase difference, correct, when they reach at the P. If phase difference is lambda, then there will be a destructive interference. Now, here we will divide the slit. The slit is divided into two parts, AC, the central point is C, AC and CB. Say this point here, there are, you can say, put one point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Here similarly, correct. It is like this. I am drawing separately. You can draw it here. Suppose it is here. This is a lot of space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's, this point is C. Correct? C. This is A point. Then C1, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. This point is B. Correct. This slit is divided into two parts. Correct. So this is like this. So if path difference between these two rays here, AP and BP, is say lambda, this BN is say lambda, then this angle is theta, this also will be theta, because this plus this one, that is, this is normal drawn, so this is 90 degree, correct, and this plus this angle, this is also 90 degree. So this is a common angle. If you add, say this x plus theta is 90, and x plus this theta also, which is shown by black theta, is also 90. So these angles are same, or you can say 1, 2, 3. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 90, and 1 plus 3 is equal to 90, so 3 is equal to 2, correct. So sin theta, you can take sin theta is equal to Bn, say it is lambda. If we consider as a lambda, say this is lambda, or Bn upon E, Bn upon E, that is, you can say P is equal to Bp minus AP is equal to Bn, and Bn is equal to A sin theta. Bn is equal to, this Bn is equal to A sin, this is A. This length AB is A, correct. So it is, or you can say sin theta is equal to Bn upon A, or A sin theta is equal to Bn. A sin theta is equal to Bn, correct. Now let the point P be so located on the screen that the path difference is lambda. If path difference is lambda, that Bn is lambda, that is A sin theta is equal to A sin theta will be equal to lambda, that is Bn is equal to lambda, correct. It is so located that the Bn is equal to lambda, correct. Then lambda path difference. Now when we divide into two parts, consider this part will be a lambda by 2. Difference between the rays from the 1 and the 6. What is the path difference between these two? Lambda by 2. Similarly 2 and the 7, there will be lambda by 2. So they will contribute, they will be out of phase when they reach at the P. When they reach at the P, rays coming from the, originating from the A and the 7, 1 and the 7, the path difference will be lambda by 2 when they reach at the P, correct. Similarly, rays reaching from the, originating from the A, wavelets from the 2 and the 8, the 2 and the 8, the second one, they will be also, the path difference between these two will be lambda by 2 when they reach to the point P. Again, third, 3 and the 9, and 4 and the 10, 5 and the 11, and 6 and the 12. They will reach out of phase. When they reach at the P, they will reach at the out of phase. That is, they will cause destructive interference. That is, will be a minima. That will be a first minima. So first minima we can observe when A sin theta is equal to lambda. A sin theta is lambda, or direction of that theta is equal to lambda by A. A sin theta is very small, so A sin theta is considered as a theta. We can consider sin theta is equal to theta, or A theta is equal to lambda, or theta is equal to the direction of first minima is lambda by A. Similarly, second minima is 2 lambda upon A, third minima 3 lambda upon E, and n minima, this is first minima, this is minima, this is central maxima, this is a central maxima, and here first minima. Correct? Well, path difference, the slit has path difference is lambda. So, it is not interference, this is a diffraction. We divide the slit into two parts and contribute that. So, we can divide the slit AB as I have discussed, said that we can divide the slit AB into the two halves AC and CB. Then the path difference between the wavelets from A and C will be lambda by 2. Similarly, corresponding to every point in the upper half AC, there is a point in the lower CB for which the path difference is lambda by 2. Hence, the wavelets from the two halves reaches the point P always in the opposite phase, that is, they will cause they interfere destructively so as to produce a minimum. Thus, the condition for the first minima or dark fringe is A sin theta 1 is equal to lambda. Sin theta is very less, so you can take A theta 1 also. Theta 1, that is for the first minima. Theta 2, that is for the second. For second, it is part of 2 lambda. A sin theta n is equal to n lambda. So, n is equal to 1, 2, 3. The direction of the various minima are given by sin theta can be given as a roughly equal to theta. So, theta n is equal to n lambda upon A, correct? Sin theta, this is theta, sin theta n is equal to theta n. So, theta n is equal to n lambda. So, theta n is equal to n lambda upon E. So, theta 1, the direction of this theta 1 is lambda upon A, theta 2 is equal to 2 lambda upon A, theta 3, 3 lambda upon A, 4 lambda upon A, 5th minima, 5 lambda upon A. So, for nth minima, n lambda upon A, correct? In between, so this is the graph intensity against the direction. This is theta is along the x-axis, y-axis intensity I. So, you can see central maxima is maximum intensity, correct, and width is also double. This is 2 theta, this is 1 theta, this is 1 theta, this is 2 theta, this is very broad. So, first minima is at lambda by A, as we have seen. First minima is lambda by A, second minima 2 lambda upon A, as you can see, so on. Third minima, in between there is a maxima, this is minima, in between there is a maxima, this is maxima, this intensity is here minima, that is 0, here it is 0, that is at 2 lambda upon A at this direction. This is maxima, first maxima, this is a central maxima, this is the first maxima, that in between, that is lambda by A and 2 lambda by A, that is 3 by 2 lambda, correct? When part difference 3 by 2 lambda, we will get the first maxima, then 5 by 2 lambda, 7 by 2 lambda, and so on. We will get the second, third, and so on. Similarly, on this side also you will get minus lambda by A, minus this negative direction, 2 lambda A, these are minima, these are minima, first minima, second minima, third minima. This is the first maxima, second maxima, correct, and so on. So, here this is 3 by minus 3 by 2 lambda, and this is theta, this is theta 2 is equal to 5 by 2 lambda, 7 by 2 lambda, and so on. You can see that intensity is very less. As order increases, intensity decreases. Intensity of the central maxima in this first and the second is 1 upon 21, so very less. The position of secondary maxima. Suppose the point P is so located that P is equal to 3 by 2 lambda, as I told you earlier. When theta is equal to theta 1, then A sin theta 1 is 3 by 2 lambda. We can divide the slit into now 3 equal parts. The path difference between the 3 parts, you can divide the slit into 3 parts. See, this is one part, A, B, C and D. This is one part, this is 2 part and this is 3rd part. So, as we have discussed, these 2 portions, say 1, 2, 3, 6 point you can take, 1 to 6 and 7 to 12, correct. Similarly, 13 to 18. This portion they will contribute destructively. So, there is no contribution from this, only 1/3, that is this portion. So, even this is 3 by 2 lambda, this is 3 by 2 lambda path difference, then only 1/3 portion will contribute to the intensity, that is the first maxima is less intense with compared to the central maxima, because contribution is only from the 1/3 portion of the slit. First 2 half they contribute 0, they interfere destructively. Let us see it. Then A sin theta 1 is equal to 3 by 2 lambda, correct. We can divide the slit into 3 equal parts. The path difference between 2 corresponding points of the first two parts, AB and BC, that is they interfere, that is path difference is lambda by 2. The wavelets from these points will interfere destructively. However, the wavelet from the 3rd part, this wavelength from this 3rd portion, this portion 13 to 18 points, correct. From the 3rd parts of the slit, that will contribute to some intensity, forming a secondary maxima. The intensity of this maxima is much less than that of the central maxima, because only 1/3 portion of the slit contributes. Thus, the condition for the first maxima is A sin theta 1 is equal to 3 by 2 lambda. So, A sin theta and A sin theta 2 is equal to 5 by 2 lambda and 7 by 2 lambda and so on. That is, in general, A sin theta n is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. N is equal to 1, 2, 3. If you put the n is equal to 1, then 2 plus 1, that is 3 by 2 lambda. That is for the first maxima. Second maxima, n is equal to 2. That is 2 into 2, 4 plus 5, 5 lambda by 2. Correct? And so, theta direction will be the divided by A, that is 3 by 2, 3 by 3 lambda by 2A, 5 lambda by 2A and so on. So, theta 1 direction is the direction of secondary maxima are given by first secondary maxima 3 by 2 lambda upon A. Theta 2 is equal to 5 lambda upon 2A. 7 third for the third, 7 lambda. In general, theta n is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda upon 2A. Angular width and linear width of central maxima and the secondary maxima, correct. Angular width of central maxima, this is angular width of central maxima, that is this is the direction of the first minima, this is the first minima, this is minimum intensity is 0 almost, this is first minima. This is first on this side minima, this is first minima. These are maxima, you can see from the graph. The angular width of central maxima, this is angular width, this is that is 2 theta, this is a linear width, beta 0, or in some books it is given x also, correct. The angular width of central maximum is the angular separation between the direction of the first minimum on either side. This is the first minimum on this side, upper side, this is the lower side, correct. So, this angular width is called the angular width of the central maxima. The direction of the first minima on either side of the central maxima are given by, this direction of this minima is given. First minima, you know, we have already discussed, this is lambda by A. This is lambda by A. Correct? This is 2 lambda by, this is a second minima, this is a second minima, and this is 2 lambda upon A. This is 3 lambda upon A and so on. This is the third minima. These are maxima, first maxima. This is second maxima. And so on. Correct? That is, this is 3 by 2 lambda by A. This will be 3 by 2 lambda A. It will become congested. So, I am just speaking. This is 5 by 2 lambda by A. This is third for. This is third maxima is 7 by 2 lambda by A. Minima, there is lambda by A, 2 lambda by A, 3 lambda by A, n lambda by A for n minima. This side also lambda by A, 2 lambda by A, upper side, and so on. So, this direction is theta is equal to lambda by A. This angle is called the half angular angle. This is half angular angle. This is actually 2 theta is the width. Correct? So, angular width of central maxima is equal to 2 theta, and 2 theta is equal to lambda by A. So, 2 theta will be 2 lambda by A. Now, linear width of central maxima. What is the linear width? Beta. This is just like R. So, correct? Arc upon radius. This distance is say D. The distance of the screen from the slit. This distance is D. This is also D, you can see. So, this R, correct? So, d theta is equal to R. D theta is that is 2 theta of the center for central maxima, and that is equal to linear width. This is the linear width. This is angular width, correct? Direction. So, angular width you use theta, linear width you use x or beta 0. Beta 0 is for central maxima, and for this other maxima we use beta for this beta. This is half just, you can see, this is just double. So, beta 0 is equal to d into 2 theta, that is 2 theta in radian is equal to arc upon radius. This is beta 0 is just arc of the circle, you can take. This is very small. So, arc upon radius, and arc is, this is beta 0, and radius, that is d, distance of the screen from the slit, that is the radius of the circle. So, beta 0 upon d. So, d 2 theta is equal to beta 0. So, beta 0 is d 2 theta, and theta is lambda by a. So, 2d, 2 into d into theta, that is lambda by a, 2d lambda by a. Now, angular width of secondary maxima. We have seen the angular width and linear width of central maxima. Now, secondary maxima, that is first secondary maxima, second secondary maxima, and so on. The angular width of n secondary maxima is the angular separation between the direction of nth and n plus 1 minima, that is between two minima, as we have seen, first minima and the second minima, that distance, or third minima and the 2 minus 2, barabar? That is the direction of nth minimum is equal to, suppose theta n is, that is given by n lambda by a, and direction of the n plus 1th minima is theta n plus 1 lambda by a. You can say this is, suppose this is a 5, then this will be 6. Barabar? So angular width of n secondary maximum is equal to theta n plus 1 minus theta n, that is equal to n plus 1 lambda by a minus n lambda by a, that is equal to lambda by a. You can say that is a second, if you take the second minima and the third minima, the distance between this separation between these two, that is the angular separation, correct, or the angular separation, or that is the angular width of the secondary maxima. So width of n secondary maximum will be equal to angular width into d, as we have seen before, correct. So say this distance is the b, correct. So b is equal to the width of n secondary maximum, width, that is equal to angular width into d. As we have seen that, correct, this arc upon radius is equal to angular separation. The angular separation is lambda by e. So beta is equal to d lambda upon e, or beta 0 is equal to, we can say, to beta. We know the beta 0 is equal to 2d lambda upon a, and beta 0, that is secondary maxima, are half. This width of the secondary are also half than that of this. The central maximum of a diffraction is twice as wide as secondary maximum. Or we can say from this, it is inversely proportional to the a, d lambda, b is equal to d lambda upon a. So a increases, beta will decrease. So beta is inversely proportional to slit width. Beta is inversely proportional to a, that is slit width. Correct. As the slit width is increased, now if you increase the slit width, what would happen? Beta will decrease. Beta will decrease. So if we increase a, the beta will decrease, get narrower, correct, and the secondary maxima will get narrower. If the slit is sufficiently wide, the secondary maxima disappear and only the central maximum is obtained, which is the sharp image of the slit. So if you increase the slit width, sufficiently, then beta will decrease. This beta, this secondary maxima, see, this is central maxima and this is a secondary maxima. This is central maxima, wide, and this is a second. This is a secondary maxima. This is secondary maxima, lower side. So slit is sufficiently wide. This will become narrower. This will become narrower. So, and they disappear finally. And you will see only the central maxima. There is a clear image of the slit. So light almost travels in a straight line, you can see. Light travels almost in a straight line. This is the image of the slit. This is the image of the slit. So light doesn't go in this portion and to form the secondary maxima. There also it doesn't go, reach. Correct? So if the A is large, A slit width, A is large sufficiently, beta will decrease and finally disappears. So as the slit width is increased, A is increased, the secondary maxima gets narrower. If the slit is sufficiently wide, the secondary maxima disappear and only the central maxima is obtained, which is a sharp image of the slit. Thus, a distinct diffraction pattern is possible only if the slit is very narrow. So, in order to observe the diffraction, slit should be narrow. Then only light will diffract. Correct? So, you will get the secondary maxima on either side. Light will diffract. Validity of ray optics. When we can consider the concept of ray optics and when we consider the wave optics. Correct? So validity of ray optics. we know that the light traversing a straight line, it casts a shadow of every object. If you walk in the sunlight, then you will see your shadow. Similarly, any tree also is there in the sunlight, that it will cast shadow, because in the shadow portion the light doesn't go. We say that the light travels in a straight line, or you cannot see the persons speaking in the, or teacher speaking in the one class, cannot see the students sitting in another side by the room, as which happens generally, commonly in the case of the sound. Sound has a wavelength more, so it can bend, but light has a very short wavelength, so if opening is comparable to the wavelength, then only you can see the diffraction, otherwise light travels in a straight line. Let us see it. So, optics based on the ray of geometrical optics, that is a ray optics. Geometrical optics means ray optics, that is light travels in a straight line. Based upon the rectilinear propagation, that is rectilinear means straight line of light. So, light travels in a straight line. The diffraction effect shows that light does not travel in a straight line, but diffraction shows that light bends round the corner when opening is narrow. We have already discussed. Under what conditions, then what are the conditions under which the concept of ray optics are valid? Let us define the Fresnel distance and size of the Fresnel zone. Ray optics as a limiting case, we will see now the ray optics as a limiting case of a wave optics and Fresnel distance df and the Fresnel zone. Let us see these three topics. The first, a parallel beam of light of wavelength lambda on passing through a aperture of size A gets diffracted into a beam of angular width theta is equal to lambda by A, already we have seen, correct? The angular width theta is given by lambda by A. If a screen is placed at a distance d, this beam spreads over a linear width x is equal to, here in some books they have used x, that is beta, whatever we have studied or seen, x is equal to d lambda upon A. This is the linear width of the slit. If diffraction spreads x is small, the concept of ray optics will be valid. Diffraction spreading of x, that is spreading is x, is small, we can say. The spreading x is very small, this distance. Say x is small, this, or you can say very much less than this. This is the spreading of light after passing through the obstacle or aperture. This is the aperture opening. Light after passing through the opening, it diffracts. Now this diffracts at this very small angle theta, and diffraction spreading x is very small. What happens? Let us see. So x is equal to, that is the width, linear width of the maxima, x is equal to d lambda upon A. If diffraction spreads x is small, the concept of ray optics will be valid. If x is small, very small, we can consider almost travel in a straight line. For an example, if A is equal to 10 millimeter and lambda is 6 into 10 is to minus 7 meter, this is a wavelength of the yellow light, that is 6000 Austin unit also you can see in another. And d, the distance of the screen from the slit is d is equal to 3 meters. Then x is equal to d lambda upon A. Use this equation. So 3 into 6 into 10 is to 7 minus 7 upon 10 into this millimeter, that is 10 is to power minus 3. That comes about 18 into 10 is to minus 5 meters or 0.18 meters. It's a very, very less. 0.18 meters is less than this. For convenience, I have shown it. It is almost straight line. It is less than this even. 1 millimeter, it is 0.2 millimeter, not 1 millimeter even. Almost straight line. Almost straight line. Correct? So x is almost negligible, 0 almost. So 0.2 millimeter, that is almost 0. That light travels in a straight line. Correct. So if opening is comparable with the lambda and distance of the screen is more, then light travels in a straight line and we can consider the concept of ray optics, that is light traversal. Ray optics, that is geometrical optics or light traversal in a straight line. Thus, in the above example, the diffraction spreading is only 0.18 millimeter, that is almost negligible, is correct, not quite large. Thus, ray optics is valid, that is light traversal in a straight line, as I have said. Now, let us see the Fresnel distance df and the distance at which the directions, correct, Fresnel distance and Fresnel zone. df is the Fresnel distance. If distance is less than the df, then light will travel in the straight line. If it is greater than that, then there will be spreading. That is, we can consider the consider the concepts of wave optics. But if it is less than df, then d is less than df, then we can consider the concept of straight line or rectilinear proportion of light, that is ray optics or geometrical optics, it is also called. The distance at which the diffraction spreading of a beam is equal to the size of the aperture, that is A. If spreading is equal to the aperture, this size, as we have seen, this size is A and this spreading is also only this much. This spreading x is also, x is equal to A. That is almost established in a straight line, correct. That is called the Fresnel distance df. This distance is called the Fresnel distance df. When x is equal to A, d is equal to df. Remember. Now x, we have already seen that x is equal to d lambda upon A. If x is put the value of x as A, x is equal to A, what will happen? Then d is equal to df. That is, A is equal to x, put instead of x as A. So A is equal to x is equal to A, d is equal to df. That is df into lambda upon A. Or df is equal to A square upon lambda. If d is less than df, if d is less than df, that is, suppose it is here, screen is here, then there will be not much broadening by diffraction, that is light travels in a straight line. And concepts of ray optics will be valid. If d is less than df, correct, if it is d is this much, as d is equal to less than df, or d is equal to A square upon lambda, or A is equal to, A is greater than under root lambda by, take A square is equal to, A square is greater than d and lambda take on this side is greater than lambda d, or A is equal to under root d lambda, that is greater than, A is greater than under root d lambda, correct. And this is the, for a given value of d, the quantity under root d lambda is called the size of the Fresnel zone. This is called the Fresnel zone. Say AF, AF, that is AF is equal to under root lambda by d. Hence, the concepts of the ray optics can be conveniently used without introducing any appreciable error if size of the aperture is greater than the Fresnel zone, that is A is greater than AF, correct. This is considered AF, and AF is equal to under root d lambda by, it should be greater than under root d lambda. Example 10.5 on page number 37, this is a solved example. In Young's double slit experiment, the distance between the slits S1 and S2 is 1 millimeter. What should be the width of the each slit be so as to obtain 10 maxima of the double slit pattern within the central maximum of the single slit pattern? This is a single slit pattern, correct. This is a central maxima, and in this central maxima we want to obtain the 10 fringes which are equally spaced in the Young's double slit experiment, correct. What should be the slit width? That is A. We have to calculate. This is A, correct. This is also A. This is also A. The distance between the slit, this is D, is given. A is to be calculated. Now the linear separation between the n bright fringes. So there are n bright fringes here. This distance is the same, this is the central width of the linear width of the central bright fringe. At the angle direction is 2 theta. Distance d is the same in both. So this is 3, 4, and say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, this one. The total is 10. These are 10 within the central maximum. This is the width of the central maxima. This is a, you can lay it, there is no space, you can draw it like this. The intensity variation, you can show it. The linear separation between the n bright fringes, this is say x. We call it as a x. This distance is x, that is equal to, for the one slit width is a lambda d upon d. For n, it is n d lambda upon d. Capital D is the distance from the slit to the screen. This is the screen. D is the capital. And small d is the separation between two slits S1 and S2 in the end section. So separation between n bright fringe, this is this separation, angular separation. Correct? This is angular separation. This is, that is 2. Correct? Here in the diffraction is 2 theta. Here it is, say, theta n, same way xn upon, xn is equal to n lambda d upon d. Now separation between the n bright fringes will be x n theta, or theta n is equal to xn upon d. Xn upon d. That is, this is just like the arc. We have discussed already. Arc is equal to r theta. R theta. R is the radius, that is d. So this distance, say x, this is for 10, that is 10 is n. So xn is equal to r theta, that is d theta, theta 10, that is. So it is equal to n. Now xn, we have seen in the Young's double selection, xn is equal to lambda d upon small d for one fringe width, and for n fringes n lambda d upon small d, and upon this is d. So xn, this is the xn value, n lambda d upon small d is the xn upon d. So d will be cancelled. So n lambda upon d. So for 10 fringes, the direction will be theta n will be 10 lambda upon d. In the case of the diffraction, it is 2 theta. So 2 theta, let us call it 2 theta 1. Correct? Let us call it 2 theta 1. Here we call it as a theta . So theta n is xn upon d, that is already we have seen. Now in the case of the diffraction, the angular width of central maxima is in the diffraction pattern due to the slit width A is 2 theta 1. It is a double, correct? So angular width, you remember, that is theta, correct? Theta, and that is lambda by E. For 2 theta is equal to 2 lambda upon E. This is for central maxima. For other maxima, it is lambda by E. Remember, correct? So now compare these two, this one and this equation 2. So 10 lambda upon d is equal to 2 lambda upon E. The angular separation, this is this theta and this is 2 theta. These are the same. So 10 lambda upon d is equal to 2 lambda upon A. So A is equal to 2 upon 10 D. D is given. D is equal to 1 millimeter. Already it is given. So A is equal to 2 upon 10 into 1 millimeter. 2 by 10, that is 1 by 5, that is 0.2. Correct? 0.2 millimeter. Answer is in millimeter. D is 1 millimeter. It is given. Correct? Separation. This is D is 1 millimeter. Separation between this width of each leaf. That is then the S1 and S2. The distance between S1 and S2, that is S1 and S2, is 1 millimeter. Correct? Now estimate the distance for which the ray of optics is a good approximation for a aperture of 4 millimeter and the wavelength of 400 nanometer. That is blue light. It has a 400 nanometer or 4 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter or 4000 Armstrong in it. So slit width A is equal to 4 millimeter. That is 4 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Lambda is 400 nanometer. That is 4 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. Say let DF is a Fresnel distance up to which the ray optics is good approximation. If it is greater than DF, then there will be a diffraction. Correct? It will bend. So if it is D is equal to DF, Fresnel distance, that is equal to A square upon lambda, as we have seen. So A is equal to 4 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. A square is square upon lambda is 400 nanometer, that 4 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. This comes about 40 meters.